tumetoka wrong guy, I'm of the wrong guy. Wa ndani ya nyumba nilizaliwa Thusi Zeri alikule Kiseri. Nacheza kalongolongo kule mulolongo. Tuko hapa na Tosh. Anapenda ngama shosh.
Did you listen to the Hot Breakfast this morning? Here's what you missed.
Cedooo seduction. Look at that. Play on words. Yes, sir. What a superstar. What a talent. Cedooo, we want to know your story. Before you became this super producer, when you were still Cedric. Cedric, what's your second name?
Kadenyi.
When you're still being called Cedric Kadenyi, come here. Take us back there.
Well. I mean, I started music. I've not done anything else. I just been doing music since I was really small. But professionally, I did law in Moore University.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of law did you concentrate on?
I didn't. You know, you have to do the degree, then you have to go to Kenya School of Law so that you can practice in Kenya, and then now you can specialize. So I did the degree, did the postgraduate, but I didn't go beyond that.
So unajua tu kutoa mtu nini kwa ajili ile kulipa bail. Hapo kwa bail ndio
Tetea tu kidogo.
Ile plead guilty or not guilty. Hapo ndio advice yako inafika.
Hapo tu.
When was this?
This was, I finished my degree in 2007, and then postgraduate in 2009.
So you did want to be a lawyer. I mean, you did want to.
I wanted to, but I was so distracted with music, you know, at the same time. So I just decided, you know, I'm just gonna focus on one thing. Let me just do music. Yeah, that's
maybe we should do a song about the law and how not to break it, but now it's hip hop. Uda ukichoma, utashikwa na karao, ulale ndani, uishi huko, wanaume kupende. Or something. I'm not a professional rapper, but you improvise quite well.
It's funny. So through that process, you know, I finished campus, came to Nairobi, decided, you know what, I want to be a producer. Tried to fix myself in some of the studios here. It didn't quite work out in the beginning, so I joined live band. I started doing live tours. You know, I was doing live gigs with Nyambane in hotel gigs. You know, and then after that, I started through that process. I met different artists. Started working with Sauti Sol, became their music director.
You were once Sauti Sol's music director.
Yes.
And they in there.
Right. I think I've collaborated with Sauti on so many projects. You know, I would have had them in this album, but it didn't feel right. It felt like you know, time to experiment with other artists. But I really admire them, and I've really worked with them on so many other things, and I know that we've both evolved, and it would be really amazing if we collaborated on something else. So I'm sure that's going to come in the future.
That time will come, huh?
Yeah, that time is going to come.
Let me ask you, you've done quite a bit of music with Nyashinsky.
Yes.
How's that going? How do you guys discover each other? Because the first song you did is right when he came back from the States.
Yes.
Now you know? Or?
No. He had just released now. You know, he did that in the US. Then we did Mungu Peke, then Malaika, so on and so forth. Yeah.
How did you guys bump into each other?
We met through. I'd gone to see Nameless, and he had also gone to see Nameless, so we met in his house. So Nameless was like, "Yo, do you guys know each other?" I couldn't recognize him in the beginning, you know, and then I was told, "This is Nyash." Okay, yeah. He was like, "You guys should work together." Okay, cool, no problem. Then we booked a session. I think a week later, he told me his ideas. I told him my ideas. I gave him a beat, and then he came back with Mungu Peke. Yeah.
And as you met with Nyash at Nameless House, have you done any songs with Nameless?
Yes. I've done his latest collaboration with Wahoo. His latest, actually, like 5 songs, 5 releases, collaboration. I've done all of those.
Oh, they've done 5 songs, him and his wife?
Yes.
See, that's a bit too much. Do you have a favorite, or are they all?
I guess if each song has its own vibe and time, you know, there's a time for partying where, you know, we listen to shots, you know, we want to dedicate something to your loved one. There's imagination in there, you know, and so on and so forth. There's something for every time and every. It's sort of like a different playlists which gives you like a soundtrack for each event in your life. You know, when you wake up in the morning, there's something there for you. You know, in the evening before you sleep, there's something there for you. For different kind of moods, different kind of times, different ways of expressing yourself. There's a soundtrack there for you.
Tell me something, Cedooo. At the listening event the other day, how was it? How's the album received?
Wow, I was so shocked. I was so surprised. I didn't plan to do a lot of songs in the album because I sort of understand that overwhelming people with 15 new songs in one sitting at an evening may be a bit too much. So the few songs that I decided to play for them was, they were so beautifully received. I had to repeat shots, I think 4 or 5 times, during the listening party. It was so amazing. And then I also did like a performance set there, which was something I wanted to experiment and see how the audience would receive a different kind of performer, because we've seen DJs with their decks, we've seen artists with their microphones. How about producers with keys on stage, and all this equipment of performance, and how can we create, a beat on stage live there and vibe with the audience? How would that feel like? Yeah, man.
Are you working with some new artists? Like, if how do you discover new artists, or you just work with the established ones?
No. All kinds of artists.
Because Jeff can rap. It's just
I'm a little shy.
The chorus for Naomba was written by a guy called Iggy, who's a completely new artist. You're going to be hearing his music soon. So yes. So anyone who wants to work, just reach out. Cedooo_Kadenyi, all platforms.
The talent out there.
Yes.
It's like almost every other day. They're producing another star.
Yes. Almost every day. Yeah.
Well, why are we lagging? What's happening?
I don't know if I have a a straight up answer. But what I've noticed is that their culture, they've embraced their culture, so it's evident in the movies, the music, the conversations, and it's like an all-around thing. So it's just easier for music to flourish in that kind of environment where the society has really embraced culture and is portraying that culture. Here in Kenya, we make fun of each other. When someone speaks in a different language or whatever, we make fun of each other.
We are the full colonizers.
We make fun of each other in all aspects. In food, dressing, how we speak. So it's very difficult for someone to be confident enough to sing Kikamba and then mix that Kikamba with something else and then put that out in the African market. It's going to be very difficult for Kenyans to embrace that. I don't know why. I guess I don't know. I don't think I have a precise answer, but I've just noticed for Nigeria for sure, even Tanzania, because when you move to those countries, the content they consume is their own. The vibe, they do their own things. Like what you're saying about Uganda, same thing. They're doing their own things. Times have changed, man. Things have evolved. You can't just be talented. Being talented is just one step. There are other things. You have to show up on time. You have to be patient. You have to persevere, and so on and so forth. And the world has evolved in a way that if you don't join in and be a person who's productive, who can contribute to society in a meaningful way, you'll be left behind, man. Things will move, times will move, and then you'll be left behind. By the time you wake up, may be too late. So if there's anyone who thinks, you can just, kill it quick, you're doing one thing, it's just a matter of time, you'll get a very serious wake-up call.
Why do people complain that we don't have a Kenyan sound? Why is that?
Right, I see. It's just, I guess it's because other leading cultures have had that identity which has set them apart from everybody else. So it's just been expected that we should also follow the same trend. I think it's going to be very difficult. As a country, we are very diverse. We have very special, unique interests. So to get together and agree that this is going to be that one sound for all of us might take a bit of time. And I think we should just embrace that diversity, that we can do a lot of very many different things and let it be that way.
Yeah. This debut album, you don't sing at all in it.
No.
You're not a singer.
No. I'm not a singer. I'm a different kind of musician and a performer. So we grew up, thinking that the best way of expressing yourself in art as a musician is using your voice. But we've come to embrace other ways of doing that. I can play keys for you, entertain you by playing keys. I can produce songs in studio and then tour around playing those songs are produced in studio. And even as a creator, I can come up with the concept of the song, write it myself, get all the instrumentalists and choose whichever vocalist I want to sing on that song. That becomes my song, not the person who's the lead vocalist on it. So it's a different kind of entertainment, different kind of flavor.
Have you tried singing? You just sing. Just one bar. Discover yourself.
You worked with a whole number of artists.
Yeah, we are 22 in total,
What?
This album, 22 artists.
And how was it working with them? How was it?
Yeah, well, different regions had different, expectations. Uganda, for instance, we spent a month in Uganda. They have a very organized structure of, content creation. You meet with the managers. The managers decide who works on what. We're going to use this particular songwriter. You work with the songwriters and producers in studio. Then the artist is called. Then the artist listens and says, "That's what I'm going to sing." In Kenya, on the other hand, everything is run by the artist. So the artist decides what they want to do, and then everything trickles down from there. Very, very interestingly different, but we have to embrace that.
Tell us about Goalkeeper then.
With Aslay.
Aslay. So this is a very interesting song because Aslay doesn't write lyrics, you give him the beat and then he just starts recording. He'll give you different ideas and then it's up to you to arrange them so that it can make sense as a full song.
Oh, he just speaks from the top of his head.
Yeah, he just starts, starts going, which is very, very, I've never seen that before,
All of Kenyan artists say they do the same, but now their rhymes just don't add up, Tumetoka wrong guy, of the wrong guy. Ndani ya nyumba, nilizaliwa tu Caesarea, ni kule Kiseria. Nacheza kalongolongo, kule mulolongo.
Tuko hapa na Tosh.
Anapendanga mashosh. Si unisign Cedooo.
Uko tu sawa.